Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back again. This is our third video, which we said we are going to start using the PHP code to demonstrate how to create your PHP environment. In our previous video, if you remember, the last two videos we did, the first one we demonstrate how to start by installing all the things you need in order to start using PHP, which are your virtual server, that is XAMPP, LAMP, or WAMP, and secondly the code editor, which we said we are going to use Sublime. And we have also seen the location of where to place your project, the location on the inside XAMPP folder. You need to locate the htdocs and place your code there, even though you can just place your project under my document or inside the on the desktop. That is if you have no intention of using PHP. But if you want your PHP to work, you have to place it inside that particular HTML docs folder. So now, since we have this project, but before we move on, there are things we need to consider. The first one is why or what is this PHP? The PHP is an acronym for what? The hypertext processor, and it's also widely used scripting language. Some they call it programming language, some they call it scripting language, and it's also an open source. That means it's free. You can download it, you can use it without paying any penny. And the scripts are also executed on the server. If they are not on the server, there are no way they will work for you. So what can we do with this PHP? If you have your HTML website, if it's only pure HTML, so that is a static website. The content will never change until you go there and change them by yourself. But when you want the content of the page to be changing based on some certain actions or information from your database or from the action from the user, so you want your pages to be dynamic, so you use PHP. PHP will look at the circumstance, the condition, and will work upon that particular condition. So you want it to be changing based on the user input or based on the content from your particular website or particular database. So that is a dynamic website. So you want a dynamic website, you need to use PHP. And with it, we can also create, open, read, or write, delete, and etc. of a file. You have a file, you want to change the content, you want to read the content, you want to rename it like that, so you can use PHP. Or you have a situation whereby you want to collect data from users, so you create a PHP application whereby users will supply data to you. Or you want to send or receive cookies, or you want to add, delete, or modify data in your database. So you use the PHP. PHP will be a good application to do that, or a good scripting language to do that. And you can also use it to control user access or to encrypt the data. These are few of what PHP can do. But let's just go to let's just go to our file and create a PHP environment. This is an HTML environment. So to create HTML environment, let me just cut this and save it in my clipboard. You need to use this tag, the PHP inside. So this is an opening tag for the PHP, this is a closing tag for the PHP. So this is to create whatever is in between these two tags. That environment is a PHP environment. So when you want to display information within PHP environment, you need to use this keyword echo, a double quote inside, then you display your information. So whenever you want to display any information, you put it inside double quote and use the echo keyword to display. Let's go back to our browser. Within our browser here, if I am to refresh, you see before there wasn't any dot, but now I have this this is our first project dot. But let me change it, our first PHP project. This is our first PHP project. Or if I like, I can use the first expression normally any programming language is using. Hello world. to demonstrate, that is to change the content of that particular whatever we are displaying. And at the same time, you may decide to use single code instead of double code. It's all the same thing, even though I will explain the difference between the two in future. So it will all work. Apart from this one, so if you want to display another line, so you copy the content, you copy your code, you paste it again, or you just recreate another one. Hello world, this is our first PHP, or let me put it in the PHP project. Even though it's going to give me something, as I'm going to mix my code, I will show you how to change it. Yeah, hello world, this is my PHP project all together, the whole and this all to combine without any space. To create a space is similar to any text. You create your own space. Yes, but if you want to add a comma, you put a comma here. But this one, change it to this. But in the situation whereby you want this one to be in your second line, not on the same line, so we use the HTML tag for break, BR, which will create a break. When you press, yes, it will come down to the next line to create a break. Well, I know I expect the class to already be familiar with the HTML, which is not the case as I look at it. After some couple of PHP tutorials, I will go to the HTML and demonstrate or cover some videos on HTML, how to use all the HTML tags, how to create a form, how to use all the input tags and the submit button, all the form of divs and other HTML tag. Will cover them. So we come back to the PHP and continue our PHP tutorial. So now this is how to display just text within your environment. So whatever text you want to display, you just use, remember, you just use a echo. You can just even echo an ordinary HTML tag like this, then later you display another passage that you want to display. But remember, at the end of any line you have, you must use the semicolon to terminate that particular line. If by any mistake I am to ignore the semicolon on line 11, if I try to refresh, it will give me a parser error. Unexpected echo on line 13. Let's go to line 13. This is saying I'm not supposed to put echo at the end of a maybe at the end of a line. Since I have started line 11, I haven't finished it. I am trying to put another echo. So the reason is that because I didn't tell the PHP to terminate this line. If I want to combine them together, so I don't need to put this echo, can remove it because it's unexpected. But at the same time, it will give me another error. It's saying unexpected BR. It's expecting either comma or semicolon or something on line 13. So I can just bring it up and remove this one so that they will be on the same line. So this one will accept. But if by any chance you don't want to, you want to put in something, there's something called concatenation. You can combine two texts together. You have one sentence you want to combine with another sentence, you can just do it like this. So it will accept this one. There's no difference between taking this sentence, inside a code audible code, you have another sentence inside a code audible code, then you use a dot to concatenate them, that is to join them. but there's no need. You have just two separate sentences, you want to join them, there's no need to just separate this like this. You just merge them together. But in a situation wherever you have variables, many variables, you want to join those variables together, concatenation will come into play. So I would like to stop here. In our next tutorial, we'll look at how to start creating a variable and also combine our sentence with a variable. Thank you for watching.